Evening, everybody. Here are the peacocks. It's a lovely, lovely evening, and we've had a few three days, I think, of very, very windy weather. It's actually turned out beautiful now, and I just want to share a testimony of those who have been following my journey here in the UK and know what's going on. It's most of those in South Africa. And Denise, the lady I care for, she lost her dog last July and is totally devastated, still heartbroken over it. Anyway, her daughters have been saying, you know, Denise, why don't you get a dog or a cat? And I said, well, maybe not a dog, because if you had to run through the fence or it was on a lead and pulled it over, it wouldn't be too good. But maybe a cat would be nice. Anyway, she said, no, we get too old, and if I had to die, then it's not fair on the cat. Anyway, she kept on putting it off, and her daughter said, but I'll take ownership of it if anything happened to you. Anyway, she declined it. And then on the 16th of April, what had happened, there was a little cat turned up in the back garden. I said, come Denise, look here, look what's here. And look at that beautiful, beautiful, sorry to stop, beautiful sunset. I said, come look what's here, and it's a little cat. So he said, oh, anyway, we didn't know if it was a stray, where it came from, and so it stayed here, and it was here for 10 days. So we thought, well, after the lockdown, we'll just go and maybe see if, nobody seemed to know where it came from, we'll go and see if it's chipped. But there's not many places around it, and they've all got dogs, so it's very, very strange. Anyway, then Denise had a new lady starting to do the garden, and she owned a cattery. And she was here the one Thursday, and I just got back from doing the shopping for all the neighbours. And I said to her, I don't know where Charlie is, because I named her Charlie. I don't know where Charlie is. And then I found her in the field. I said, oh, she doesn't look she's well. And Sally said, oh, look, she looks like she's been bitten by something. You'd have to take her to the vet. So I don't know how to take her to the vet. You can't just phone a vet and go here. And they're only on emergencies as well because of the COVID-19. So I had to phone the RSPCA and get a lot number, then find a vet that's open to take her. So it was a bit of a story. Anyway, Sally helped me. And then she said, you're going to need a cat box. And I said, oh, the guy next door told me just now he'd made a box for Charlie to sleep outside, because he said, you know, your little stray cat, I've made a little box so she can sleep in it. So I was going to ask him for the box. He said, no, I've got a proper cat carrier. I said, oh, brilliant. So anyway, gave me the cat carrier, and I thought, wow, if we look at God's hand in everything, we'll see God's hand in everything. How God has sent a lady from the cattery. She'd help me, because apparently if you pick a cat up and you put it into the box, you put it in, they'll put their arms out. You've got to hold it in a perfect way, then put it into the box. So she helped me with that. She helped me with, you know, where to go and what to do and how to phone, and anyway, we got it. So I took it to the vet, and they said they'll find the owner, and they'll probably, would I like to be informed of what's happening? I said yes. Anyway, they never let me know. And then one of the neighbours said she saw a poster for the cat, and she thinks it might be on Facebook. So I looked on Facebook, saw the post, saw that somebody had said, yes, it's my dad's cat. So anyway, I put there, she's been staying by us for the last 10 days, and where'd you stay? And just chatted to her. Anyway, then a few days later, I said, have you picked her up yet? Her name's Kizzy. Have you picked her up yet? And they said, no, we're going this afternoon. So that was on the Wednesday. Then on the Thursday, Denise calls me. She goes, Deb, come here, look. She's back. And she came back. So I put a message back on Facebook, and I said, you know, the cat's back here. Kizzy's back here. Give me your number, or here's my number, and then phone me, and then I can see where you stay. Anyway, I phoned the lady, and I said, you know, where do you stay? Because your cat's come back. So it's just strange. If you only picked her up yesterday, and she's back here today. And they actually stay right over the other side of that tree, where the trees are there. Behind there is the lakes, and they haven't got anybody there at the moment, but they've got wardens that look after the ground. So they're the wardens that look after the ground. Anyway, she said, no, it's fine. And if she wants to, she'll come home. Anyway, she kept staying here. She just didn't want to go home, and she'd been here for 3 weeks. Anyway, then she'd been lying in the field, and I said, I don't know if she's got a little thing on her back. I don't know if she's been bitten again. I'm not sure. Anyway, we've got to try and take her to the vet. I spoke to the guy. I went to the neighbour. If she has to go to the vet, would you, be able to, come and get her box and maybe just come and help us? And they said, no, not a problem. Anyway, Sally was here, and she said, you know what, I'm going to take her to the vet. Maybe just phone the owner and ask them, or you'll have to get a lot number. I said, you can't get a lot number because she's not stray, she's chipped. So I said, anyway, Sally dropped her at the vet for us. She managed to get her to the vet. And I went next door. I said, Denise, I'm not going to phone the lady. I'm going to go there. I'm going to speak to her. I said, I know we've got your cat, and she's staying here, but she's got a bite, and she's got to go to the vet. And obviously, we'll need your, they'll phone you. We'll need your consent that she can be treated, but we'll pay for her. It's not a problem. She has been staying by us. And she said, you know what, I'm quite happy for her to stay by there. stay by you. If she's happy and she doesn't want to come back, I can't force her. And if the older lady is happy and it makes her happy, then I'm fine with it. I said, oh, well, thank you so much. You know, she was a abused cat, mistreated, and she took her for somebody, and she's had her for 5 years. And she didn't like the noise, and when all her kids came from the COVID, they came to stay with her. That's when obviously she ran away. She really likes peace and quiet, and of course it's beautiful and quiet here. Anyway, so what had happened, we took her to the vet. Well, Sally took her to the vet, and the vet phoned me and she said, you know what, you can pick her up, but I've just spoken to the owner and said, why don't you give this Mrs. Williams the ownership of the cat? If she's staying there and she's happy there and you're happy to hand her over and they're going to pay the bill, why don't you just hand her over? She goes, yes, fine. So I phoned her and I said, you know, is it okay with you that we take ownership? She goes, no, it's fine. She obviously wants to stay there. So I said, Denise, you're the proud owner of Charlie the cat. So she's got the cat. So even though she didn't want to, and you know what, she is loving having her here. Like when we picked her up from the vet, put it in the cat box and I sat her on the back, and she's like, oh, and she's talking to her, and she's just loving her, and it's just so special how God, if you see his hand in everything, we just see how he sends a lady from the cattery, how he sends a cat, how we're able to take her to the vet. She came back here. How we're able to take the cat to the vet, and how we're able to get ownership of it. It all just fell into our lap, and Denise is absolutely loving having her, and it's so special, and it's amazing what animals do. My dad had a song that he used to play, and he used to always play it, and he would put his fingers on the dashboard. All God's creatures got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some are dancing on the telephone wire, some just clap their hands, their paws, their feet, or anything they got. And he used to sing that all the time. I thought, God looks after all of his animals. This little animal hasn't had a very good life. She was abused for a few years. She doesn't like noise. And now she's not just perfect here because she's got the whole run of the place and it's so quiet and peaceful, but for Denise, she's so just attached already. She's loving having her here, and it is so special. So God looks after each and every one of our needs, and I just wanted to share that with all my beautiful friends who knows Denise's walk and how good God is and how he just makes a way where there seems to be no way. Have a good evening, everybody. God bless.